Senator Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have heard that every other federal judge, members of Congress, and legislative and executive branch employees are all bound by strict ethical rules. But this extends beyond government into the private sector, where employees from the CEO to the sales floor are subject to strict codes of conduct. For example, Home Depot tells all its employees that a conflict occurs when their private interests even appear to interfere with the company's interests, and that the perception of a conflict by others can be just as damaging. Home Depot makes clear that gifts of personal travel for an associate or an associate's family member are never allowed. Ally Bank explains that even gifts from personal friends can appear to be improper if the friendship resulted from a business relationship involving the bank, or the perceived purpose relates to business involving the bank. The bank tells its employees to ask themselves the following questions in evaluating gifts. Does the person or entity frequently provide or offer gifts to me? Is the gift extravagant or otherwise not reasonable and customary? Would I be embarrassed for everyone to know about the gift? Similarly, AutoZone tells all its employees we don't give or accept gifts, meals, entertainment, favors, or anything else of value that may inappropriately influence or appear to influence our judgment. So as we've seen today, the Supreme Court's ethics rules fall far short of the clear binding rules of the executive and legislative branches and those of the private sector. Judge Fogel, these companies have their rules posted online for the world to see. Wouldn't it help restore faith in the Supreme Court if it too had a set of explicit binding ethical rules available for the world to see?
Yes, I completely agree, Senator. I think it would. In the Code of Conduct for United States judges, which all the other federal judges follow, is online. You can find it anytime you want. All of the state courts have something similar that's available online. And I think it's potentially very reassuring to the public, particularly given all of the political back and forth. So yes, I think the answer is yes.
Thank you. Professor Frost, the Supreme Court has a huge impact on the daily lives of every single American. For example, the ruling in Dobbs that overturned Roe has led to chaos in our country over reproductive care. The decision gutting the Voting Rights Act have resulted in over a dozen states enacting laws making it harder and harder to vote. Supreme Court decisions have also sanctioned unlimited corporate spending in elections and diminished the quality of the air we breathe. Professor Frost, shouldn't a group of individuals with such immense power be held to at least the same ethical rules as all other judges?
Yes, I agree.
I want to get to the personal hospitality. That was a huge, I'd say, exception to the disclosure requirements. Before the judicial conference, at Senator Whitehouse's prompting, clarified the personal hospitality exception. The judiciary's rules were anemic at best. If there is even an argument, however unconvincing, that trips valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars might be allowed, it shows how far we are from a strong, binding code of ethics. And that is what the Supreme Court needs. And if the court will not adopt one on its own, we must impose one on them. And basically, for all of our panelists, I mean, the highest court in our land should hold itself to the highest ethical standards, and it is so clear that that is not what is happening today. What is so hard for our Supreme Court to adopt a code of ethics? It could have done so 11 years ago, 10 years ago, when our Chairman Frost first brought up the subject. So what is so hard for them to adopt a code that every other court has to abide by? You see, that's what we're facing today. And frankly, I can see why the public has severe questions about the confidence that they have in our Supreme Court, which seems to hold itself above any other court and any of the rest of us in terms of their ethical behavior. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.